Hi, welcome back to Therapy Designs. If you're new to this channel, my name is Kelly, and this channel is all about teaching you how to create print-on-demand designs that sell. And be sure to stay tuned till the end of the video because I have another 5 bonus niches for you. So in today's video, I wanted to show you guys how I made this design right here. This is just a cute plaid, obviously turkey for Thanksgiving. Those plaids are really popular, obviously, in the fall, and I've seen plaid clipping masks done on all sorts of things. Obviously, there's the plaid clipping mask text. I've done lots of videos on how to do, text clipping masks. This one was a little bit harder to figure out because I wanted to get the plaid on top of that turkey. And so I did figure it out. It did take me a little bit of time, but I'm going to show you guys how I did this using just Canva. So I'm going to go ahead, jump over to Canva, and we will get started here. So I'm going to start by going with custom size. I'm going to select 4500 by 5400 pixels. That's the standard t-shirt size, and it will ensure that when I print on a t-shirt, it does print at above a 300 dpi. Now I am going to go ahead and select a darker background color. I'm just going to go with a dark gray here. That way I can see everything that I'm doing right now. So the first thing I want to do is sort of look for a turkey. So that's where I'm going to start. So I'm going to go to elements and I'm going to go with cute turkey. And we're going to go with graphics. And so there's lots of cute turkeys, like here's a cute turkey and it's got the feathers there. That's the same one, but I'm looking for sort of that style. Here's the one I think I went with, was this one, but you can see there's a lot of other ones just like that. Here's another one right here. Same style of turkey for the most part, just different feathers. And so I could have done that one. Here he's sitting, here he's standing, no big deal. Any of these would work. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. Again, you can be as creative with this as you want. I'm just going to go ahead and show you the one I picked. So this was the turkey that I was going to make. So there's several steps here. One, I need to do a clipping mask, a different clipping mask on each one of these feathers, and then a different clipping mask on his body. So to do this, I started with just individual feathers. So I went with turkey feather. And the very first one I saw worked out just fine. So that's basically the shape that I wanted. And again, remember, we're just going for shapes here. So if I was to shrink that down, and put it here so that it was sort of angled with the other one, you can see that I can kind of get roughly the same shape, right? So this is the mask I was going to go with, was roughly this feather here. And I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different plaids that I want for the feathers, a 7th plaid for the turkey. So now is where I'm going to start looking at different plaids that I want, or even just fall patterns. So I can do fall pattern, fall plaid, however you want to start with. So let's say I start with fall plaid. And I'm just going to start pulling up any plaids that I think look good. And so there's a good one there. There's always just the basic, just regular checkered ones here. And there's ones that have a little bit more orange in them. Again, you're just kind of playing around with different patterns. There's fall patterns too that I can do, so I can look at some of those if I want to throw some leaves in there. But for right now, I'm just going with just different fall plaids. Obviously, you've got those ones there. So lots of fun stuff here. If I take out fall, by the way, sometimes I can just look for plaid. Some of the plaids let you change the shirts or change the colors, and then you'll find some plaids that just happen to look good in that color. Right now, I'm just pulling out pretty much anything that I think kind of looks good so that I've got them to work with here. So I'm just going down anything that I think might be a good option. I'm just going to go ahead and pull out. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but get some different choices here for plaids. Let's go ahead and maybe put autumn pattern and see what I can get for easy autumn patterns. I would, oops, that was a little bit different. Here I can go to see all. There's ones that have pumpkins in them. Not that I particularly want that, but lots of different patterns. That one's a little bit cuter there. I'm sure there's some fall leaf patterns here. Here's a fall leaf pattern that might look good. Again, I'm got some more plaids and some more just basic patterns here. There's some more fall leaves. Let's go back. More fall leaves. More fall leaves, though this one doesn't have a background to it, and I wish it did. This one has a background to it. That one's kind of cool because I like the colors on that one. That one's the same one, just with a different color. Anyways, once I've got a handful of potential patterns, whether they're leaves or they're plaids or whatever, I've just got my potential clipping masks here. I'm going to take them, move them all off of the page. This will save them into my recently used so that they'll be easy to see and grab. And so starting with that. So let's go ahead. So here's my recently used. So I'm going to add a couple pages. So I'm going to add a page. First page I'm going to have is just going to be this leaf. So what I'm going to do with the leaf here is, because this is going to be my frame, I'm going to go ahead and put leaf frame. So I'm going to have to download this one just as a frame. So I'm going to hit share, download. It's transparent background, PNG. I just need page 2. And so I've got my leaf frame downloaded. And once I have it downloaded, I can actually kind of move it out of the way. So now I'm going to pick essentially 6 ideas that I want for the feathers. And so looking at everything that I've saved, I want to come up with 6 that I think will look good and maybe like light, dark. So let's say I take these, and they might not all work perfectly, but let's say, I mean, like here is an orange, for example, and then maybe I want a darker one or more of a brown toned one. I could go with maybe the leaves here because they're just darker. I might be a little darker than I want, but let's say I did the dark pattern there, and then maybe I want something a little bit more orangey, so maybe I go with that plaid. That plaid's a little too orangey. Maybe this plaid here, because that's going to tie the browns in. So I'm just kind of organizing what I think I want to do a little bit more of. Here's another pattern. I did sort of like that pattern there. And so we can see how I'm getting sort of contrasting patterns and plaids and contrasting colors here. So another colored one. Well, those are different plaids that I might do. Sorry, different patterns. I'm looking more for the plaids that I liked. Looking more in the browner shades of plaid. Maybe this one. It's got a little bit more of those brown shades to it. Though that one I might actually, I think this is the one I want to put on the turkey. So I'm going to leave that there. So let's keep looking. Maybe this one. There's some leaves. This one's kind of cool because it's got a lot of the bright colors mixed in. So I'm thinking maybe I'll do something like that. So these are my ideas for the different patterns that I want in the different locations. So I've kind of organized my thoughts a little bit. So that's what we're starting with. So then let's go ahead and start with this first one here. So this first one here, I'm going to pull up. I'm going to make it kind of nice and big. And let's go ahead and make this into a clipping mask. So I'm going to go here. We're going to go to our apps. So we'll go to apps. I've got it saved under my apps. Otherwise, you can just do a search if you haven't. But we're looking for the clipping mask app. So pretty easy right here. It looks like a splatter and it just says clipping mask. And so you can either search for it or you can just type in clipping mask. Now, I've made different videos using this before, so if you haven't seen them, well, I'm going to review it anyways. You start with whatever your mask is going to be. So I'm starting with my plaid. I hit start masking. It's got a bunch of already made shapes. I don't necessarily want any of these. I'm going to go ahead and upload an image. And from here, I'm going to choose file. This is where I'm choosing my frame. And my frame is going to be my leaf frame. So that's why I had to download that already. So I'm going to pull up my leaf frame. There it is. And what you do is you actually get this frame nice and big. So whatever you see is what you're going to get. So something like that looks cool. Once I have it the way I want, I can go add to design. And it is going to add that leaf to the design. So you can see right here, there's leaf number 1. And then we're going to repeat this for each of those. So the next one I have is this one here. I'm going to hit Control D and bring it down, make it nice and big, and do the same thing. Start masking, image, choose file. We're going to go with our leaf frame, hit open. I'm going to blow my leaf up so it fills, again, most of this page. Put it wherever I like it, make sure I've got it lined up, hit add to design. It's going to add it to the design. There's leaf number 2. I can worry about the sizes of them later. All right, move that out of the way. Next, I got this one. I'm just going to hit Control D, pull it onto my second page. Here it is. I'm going to start masking this. Again, I'm going to go with image. I'm going to upload my leaf frame. Hit open. There's my leaf frame. Blow it up. You can see how we just sort of keep repeating the process. So something there does. Add to design. Move it up. There's leaf number 3. I'll do this 3 more times. So now I have all of my feathers. So I've got all of my feathers here. Okay. So then the next step, now that I have all my feathers, is to deal with the turkey. So I'm going to start with the turkey. I'm just going to Control D. So I'm going to keep everything on my first page so I have it all organized. So with the turkey, what I actually want to do is remove all of his feathers because I just want the turkey, because the feathers we put on are going to overlap that. So I just need his body. So to do that, I'm just going to have to pretty much erase it. Now, sometimes I can go to edit, not always, and it will allow me to do a magic eraser. And so I think this actually ought to let me just do it as is. So let's see. So I'm just going to roughly do it here. Hit erase. Perfect. So it's working. So then what you're going to do, and it's going to take a little bit of time, you want to get right next to the edges, is literally just go through and erase as close as you can. You can zoom in down here so that you can get close. We can change the brush size a little bit smaller to get in some of those little tighter areas. But essentially, we're going to go ahead and just manually erase pretty much all of the feathers. There's different ways you could have done this too. So let me hit erase. That's the brush way. If you want to go with click, sometimes it will let me just click certain spots. Unfortunately, it's got all of these listed as one spot, so it's not letting me just erase just the outside. So sometimes that click will go okay, sometimes it won't. There's a foreground, background, text, so different areas that you can do. The click one's not going to work. So you are going to have to do brush and just literally go through and, quickly erase everything. So once you have your turkey outline, or your turkey essentially with the feathers cut off, now we can put a mask over it. Now this step did actually take me a little bit of luck and creativity to come up with. So I've got my plaid here that I want to put over the turkey, but I don't just want a plaid like silhouette of a turkey. I actually wanted the turkey to show through. So what I did here is I went with the transparency, and I brought that transparency way down, and then I lined up the plaid that I wanted with the turkey, and I lined it up so that I could still see the plaid, but I could also make out the turkey. So essentially, this is what I had. So once I have my turkey and my plaid transparent on it, what I'm actually going to do now is make the background black. And I'm going to take this whole thing and I'm going to download it. And so we're going to hit download, but it's not going to be a transparent background. We're going to download it as is. So we're going to do current page, and we're going to hit done. And we're going to go ahead and hit download. Perfect. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and upload that. So once I have it uploaded, what I'll have is something like this. So I'll have the image on the black background, and now we're going to try out the background remover. Now this usually works for me. I've had issues occasionally where I have to do a little troubleshooting, but cross your fingers. We do the background remover and it's going to get rid of the transparency as well. And perfect. It actually did a perfect job right there. So it will get rid of the transparency with the solid background. So we started off with this. It got rid of all the black, including the transparency. So what it does is it just leaves the mask on the image. And so that is the big hard part to do. Once you've got it, congratulations, you have done the hardest part. So now from here, what I want to do is I do want to put a little bit of an outline around him. I'm thinking a little bit of a darker brown outline. So I'm going to go to edit. I'm going to go to shadows. We're going to do an outline. I don't want it to be that thick or that dark. I'm looking for something maybe in a darker shade of brown. Maybe somewhere there-ish. And again, just a little bit of an outline, enough that I can see it so that it will stand out against the feathers. So that is sitting at about a 7, maybe an 8. Let's go with an 8. And so right now, turkey is good. I'm going to have him right here. I'm going to want, it did cut out his eyes, and I do want some black eyes. So that's easy enough. I can just hit C on my keyboard. That just pulls up a circle. I can go ahead and, kind of shrink that circle down into more of a oval kind of a thing. Use that to cover up where the eyes are. I'm going to make it black. This is easy enough. And we just take that black and we send it to the back. Now his eyes are black. Now it's time to do the feathers. So to do the feathers, we are going to take all of these feathers. I'm just going to take all of them. And we're going to bring them down here. Now the feathers, I am going to want to do kind of one at a time. And actually, I'm thinking what I may want to do, let me move this page down. This way I know where I want. Maybe I actually want to move some of these feathers up here. So I'm doing it one at a time. So I'm starting with this one. And actually, let's do this. Let's control, oops. So I want the sizes and everything to be right too. Let's control D this. I'm going to make sure my turkey is the right size for me. So first thing I know is I'm going to have to shrink down my actual turkey here. So I'm going to take this dude and I'm going to move him to the back. He's just going to be sort of my template. And my little turkey man is going to shrink down just a little bit so that he sort of fits right over the outline more or less. Oops. So that's close enough. So that's where I want him. So now the feathers are going to go. I'm going to bring this in front here so I can grab it. The feathers are going to line up roughly with the other feathers. So I can make sure I get kind of the size that I want and the orientation that I want more or less. So something there with this one. So you can see how I got that. I also want a little bit of an outline around the feather too. So what I can do, by the way, would be to, again, go to edit, go to outlines, go to outline here. I can keep it roughly that 8. I want it to be that brown shade. If I know the brown shade, the hex code, I can just put it in there. If not, I can kind of just fill it. Right now, I can sort of fill it with whatever I want. An easy thing to do would be to just go ahead and like hit R or C and just sort of match this rectangle up to my shade that I have there for the outline. I'm going to use my eyedropper feature. I'm going to find the outline of my dude. So that's roughly the color of my outline. I'm going to go ahead and just copy this hex code. So I'm just going to hit copy and then edit, shadows, and control V. So now I'm going to have the same hex code for all of those. So there's my outline there. And I think I want a little bit thicker outline. So once I figure out what I want, then I just sort of make it uniform across all of them. But maybe a 14 outline there. That looks pretty good. So I'm happy with that one. So I'm going to do this one at a time, one feather at a time. So the next one I had was this one right here. So again, I'm going to make it the size that I want, that I think looks good here. So I'm just sort of using the background turkey as an outline. I'm going to get rid of it when I'm all done. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do edits, shadows. We're going to do the outline. It was a size 14. And then I'm just going to hit Control V to get the hex code. And perfect. So now that one is outlined, and I'm going to keep going. Next one is going to be this plaid one here. So I'm going to pull this one down. Again, I want to angle it so it's roughly right where I want it to be, roughly the size and shape I want it to be. And then again, edit, shadows, outline, 14. Oops. Density's fine. Control V on my hex code. There's my outline for that dude. Next, I had this one. Let's pull, oops. Let's pull this one down. Turn that dude. Get it to be the right size. Again, let's go to edit. I'm going to outline this guy. So shadows, outline, size 14. Control V for the hex code. So far, so good. 2 more. Next, I've got this feather. And let's rotate this guy. Move him right there. Yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect. You just want it to look cohesive like it goes. Oops, not duotone. My bad. Shadows, outline. It's a size 14. I'm going to hit Control V. Perfect. And then the last one comes down here. Again, rotate this dude. Make him fit right about there. So that looks pretty good. Okay, perfect. So now I've got all my feathers in place, which is perfect. I can get rid of that. This is all looking good. I can take my original turkey here and I can go ahead and hit Control in my right bracket. That's going to bring him to the front. Okay, so we can already sort of see the way that this is lining up. Now I've got my original turkey underneath. So the big turkey that's underneath, I can go ahead and move him out of the way a little bit. Shrink him down if I want to sort of keep an eye on him. Oops, why don't I? Oops, back. I'm going to take the original turkey, move it out of the way so I can see it. Now I do need some of these feathers here to go back. One thing I can do pretty easily would be to go to here, just go up to position if you want to see all the layers. I can go to layers. So when there's a lot of layers like this, I can take this. I can move this black layer right underneath. There you go. So that's a little bit easier to do. So I can see the layers that way. So it looks pretty good. Let me take a look here. That one's overlapping. This one, I want to bring this one to the front. So I got those two overlapping. Don't love the angle of these feathers necessarily. They're pretty close. Here's where I might change the angle. So I tried to match the angles up pretty perfect to the original turkey. But this one goes up really high. This one sticks out a little bit more to the side. They're not quite angled the way I would necessarily want them. So I'm going to angle this one out just a little bit more. I'm going to take this top one. I'm going to angle it out just a little bit more. Maybe make it so it looks a little bit more natural to how I want it. So something like that. And that looks pretty cool there. Once I have it the way I want, I'm just going to take the whole thing and group it together. So now I've got one turkey that I can put anywhere. And so that was a little bit involved. So there was a lot of steps to that. But that is essentially how you can get your own turkey with all of the different feathers and everything. So mostly I wanted to show you guys the techniques so that you knew how you could do this yourself if you wanted to. And most importantly, how you could get that plaid look over the turkey there. And get rid of the background. So that one was kind of cool, using the transparency to get the plaid look on there. Once you have it the way you want it, it's all done. I can title it Plaid Turkey. And then I can just go ahead, download this, share, download. It's a transparent background. Current page, it's a PNG. I hit download, and now that turkey is ready to go on anything. So again, you can put it on a shirt. You could put it on a mug. You could put it on a tote bag or a pillow. You could put it on just about anything that you can think of. I mean, as a standalone, you could make it a sticker. I mean, so really, it's your creation. You can do whatever you want with it. So I wanted to show you guys how you could go about doing that. If you have questions about this, drop it in the comments section below. I try to get back to everybody as quickly as I can. If you have video requests, you can put those in the comment section too, and I'll see if I get you added to my list. If you're brand new to print on demand, I do have a beginner's guide that I sell on my Etsy shop. It's like $20 on sale. I try to make it affordable so anybody who wants it can actually afford to buy it. And so you can look for the link in the description below this video and check it out if you're interested. And because you guys were so patient, you did wait until the end of the video, I do have another 5 bonus niches for you. So without any more waiting, these are your 5 bonus niches. And again, I have just taken from the top selling niches currently on Amazon. And so a little bit random, but these are what is selling. All right, so niche number 1, MILF, man, I love frogs. And so just a funny, weird one there. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. Number 2, a clean beaver always gets more wood. Again, adult humor here, but you can use cartoons and however you want it. Number 3, lucky bingo shirt. Now you can have a lucky anything shirt, by the way. So you could scale that out to be lucky blank shirt, okay? Number 4, and I've seen a lot of this. I don't know why. It's one of those trends that's going around right now. It says, if I ever get rabies, you're high on my biting list. And yeah, I've seen a whole bunch of those with angry looking raccoons. So there you go. And number 5, I'm sexy and I mow it. And it's got somebody riding on a lawnmower. I've also seen another variation of I'm sexy and I tow it, and somebody driving a tow truck. So again, just random humor. Random humor does sell really well, especially on Amazon, but also on Etsy. Anyways, I hope you guys are doing really well. I hope you're continuing to learn new skills, expand your portfolio. Obviously, I hope you're making a lot of sales, and I do hope to see you guys again. That's it for today's video. If you found that useful and would like to see more videos with helpful tips and tricks, be sure to hit like and subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you don't miss any of the weekly videos. As always, keep growing and stay creative, and we'll see you next time.